Oh, good morning. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that I was on. So thank you very much for watching and for paying attention. Again, if you like anything, you can always subscribe. We'll give you more up-to-date information whenever you subscribe, and you will know when we are going live. We thank you for watching. We thank you for taking an interest in us. And if you have any questions at any time, please leave them in the comments or contact us directly at info@tntvisa.com. Again, that's info at tntvisa.com, or you can text us through WhatsApp at 754-610-7266. Again, that's 754-610-7266. So today we're going to be discussing a little bit about the national interest waiver. And what that is this is a way to forego going through a perm process in order to be able to apply directly for an immigrant visa and then apply and get permanent residency. As we have discussed, the perm process is a process where you go through the Department of Labor. You have to do some advertising to verify that people do not qualify for in that area for that position. And then once the Department of Labor certifies the request, you can actually then submit a request to immigration for an immigrant visa that will allow you to get permanent residency in the United States. The national interest waiver is a way to shortcut that, where you don't have to go through that process, which can take up to a year. Or more. The perm process can be very because it's time consuming. You have to follow certain steps, and if you do not follow them correctly, they will deny the perm process. So this national interest waiver is a way for you to go through it. But you have to understand, in order to qualify for the national interest waiver, you either must have a master's degree or greater, or you have to be considered to have exceptional ability. Now, I'm not going to go through exceptional ability right now. That would be a different topic that I will need to discuss in the future. But basically what you're showing is it's not extraordinary ability, where you've won awards and things like that, but it's exceptional ability. And some of the things could be just a degree, whether or not you have a high salary, can command a high salary, and other factors that you should consult with an attorney to verify that you qualify. But the main thing that people really do this for are for people that have master's degrees or above, because that automatically qualifies you for it. Now, for the national interest waiver, you have to prove three different things. The first thing is that you have to prove the substantial merit of national importance. So what that means is that your position, whatever you're going to be coming to the United States, is not for local means, but it is for it's for national means. And for examples, for some of that, we had a client that was working he was working on helping modify and fix iPhones and things like that. And they were doing that. The company was based in the United States, but it had offices all over the world. And we discussed how Apple was able to employ people in the United States, how it was expanding in the United States, and how giving him here and helping him work in this type of industry would qualify for the national importance, and immigration did accept that argument. So that is one thing that you can do. And another one is, a lot of times that you're doing this national interest waiver based on people that do research and have written papers and things like that. And you're looking at what is the research that they're doing. So for another person, they did research on diabetes or HIV, and we provided documentation explaining why that's a national importance aspect and why people need to, why the government would need to bring them here. So then the next thing that you have to do is that you have to show that the person is seeking the national interest waiver can actually do the task that is going to have substantial or national importance. And again, that's pretty much just showing your ability in the past, showing the research that you've done, providing documentation, verifying that you do actually qualify for national importance, and that you have the necessary skills to be able to do the endeavor that you're saying that you need this visa for. again, that those two criteria are typically the easiest criteria to overcome. It's the third one that you have more difficulty and that you have to really get creative and be able to prove. And that is showing that on balance, it is more beneficial to waive the perm requirement than it is to just allow the foreign national to move forward with this national interest waiver. And what you're looking at is a couple of different factors. Okay, the first one is whether or not it's even necessary to go through the perm process. So, for example, let's say that somebody has such a unique set of skills that you can't even identify it within the perm process. The national interest waiver is a way to be able to prove and show that, hey, this person is so focused on one area. This is why they should get it. For example, I've talked to and know of someone who learned how to artificially inseminate honeybees, which was to make sure and keep honeybee populations populated so that they can continue to make honey. So, this person was the first person that had ever figured out how to do it, and was coming to the U.S. to actually work in the honeybee fields and to help cultivate honey. And I mean, this national interest waiver, this factor, you can prove. Like, how do you prove? Okay, so the skill is artificially inseminating honeybees, which no one else had ever done. Well, this one person had, so you don't need to go through the perm process to verify that this guy is the only one who's going to be able to do it, because he was the only one that was able to do it. So that's one way. Another way that you can look into it is whether or not, even if other people would qualify for the position that's being offered, it's still more beneficial to bring the foreign national here. And that's kind of a tricky thing that you're trying to look into. But basically what you're trying to do is show that, this person may qualify, but, the foreign national still is a better option, and why are they a better option? And so you may state something like that that they have some sort of skill, or some sort of skill that is just a little bit different, that you can't really articulate through a perm, that makes him more beneficial, or the fact that he can work alongside, or a variety of different things. But the attorney has to be creative to try to figure out a way to meet that. So, your attorney should be working with you to gather documentation and evidence, and figuring out exactly what makes you unique in order to be able to do this, to meet this third criteria through this part. And the last thing for the balance test is whether there is an absolute urgency to bring the person here. So let's say that it would have to be, again, it says national importance that you're looking into. And again, the perm process is taking like a year. If you have something where there is a deadline that you have to accommodate, and an example would be like right now, we have spent the last year with COVID. We have spent the last year trying to get vaccines and stuff like that. Somebody who could come to the U.S. to help develop a vaccine, a couple months ago, wouldn't necessarily need to go through the perm process, because the perm process is going to take way too long for them to be able to come and work on the vaccine. So that was a national importance, that you would need somebody here who has the skills to help develop the vaccine that would allow them to be able to seek and obtain this national interest waiver. So, the third criteria is the biggest criteria that you really have to work with your attorney to determine what's the best strategy, what is the best source, what is the best way to move forward with your case. So this is an avenue that could allow you and your family to get residency in the United States. It is something that an attorney would need to review with you make sure that they have the documentation to gather to prove that you would be able to qualify, and work with you to move forward in order to be able to file and seek this national interest waiver. Remember, the first thing you need to do is, if you have a master's degree or above, you would qualify it. If you do not have a master's degree or above, then you would necessarily need to prove that you have exceptional ability, which your attorney would then look through and verify that you do meet that, what evidence you would need in order to present that, and that will be another topic at another time. So again, thank you very much for reaching out, for watching. If you have any questions at any time, please just email them to us at info@tntvisa.com. You can leave comments below and we will get back to you. You can also text us at 754-610-7266. You can use WhatsApp to do that at 754-610-7266. And if you like what you're watching and you need additional information, you can always go to our website at www.tntvisa.com. Again, it's www.tntvisa.com. And you can leave comments and subscribe so that you will be more up to date on additional information from immigration, and we can provide you whatever help that you need. Thank you again very much for watching. We pray that you have a wonderful and beautiful day. We'll see you next week.